Okay, first album. We're going to England. I think it's Kent specifically. The instrumental rock band Sons of Alpha Centauri. They released their fifth album. Or is it their sixth album? No, it is their fifth album since their 2007 debut. And that comes out via Exile on Mainstream Records. Two things I know about this band. One, they're exceptionally proud of how few gigs they've played since they formed in the early 2000s. I think it's less than 20. Strange idiosyncrasy, if you're going to be proud of that. And their 2021 Push LP was well rated and actually had some vocals on it. So I wonder if this album, which is called Pull, is also going to have some vocals on it. They've got one foot in the post-hardcore camp as well. Progressive rock. I imagine that there will be some effervescent dynamics in this music. Probably bands like Karma to Burn will come to mind. Do you remember them from the late 90s? They were a well-rated instrumental rock band, weren't they? So I won't be surprised if this new album has some similarities with them. I must admit, I've not heard any of the back catalogue of Sons of Alpha Centauri, so I am looking forward to this. Why not start at the end of the discography and then work my way back? That's certainly something I've done with other artists in the past. Number two, we're staying in the post-hardcore genre, and we've got the Greek band The Vulcan Itch with the album Rise of the Fallen, and this comes out via the Lab Records. This is a debut album. No, it's not, sorry. It's a follow-up to a debut album that came out in 2020. So this is their sophomore effort. It says here on the press release that they also have a heavy sludge metal influence. So you combine those two, post-hardcore. What is post-hardcore? Fugazi, even Helmet, you could probably call that, in the 90s, with sludge metal. So I Am Monkey meets Fugazi. Sounds fucking cool to me, so I'll definitely give that a listen. Right, number three. I know how the band want us to announce their name. It's spelled CNTS, Charlie November Tango Sierra. To be diplomatic, we'll use the name Knuts and their album Thoughts and Prayers. This is a noise rock punk album. It's the second one that they've released. They're from LA and they are signed to Mike Patton's Ipecac Records label. So we know it's going to have a warped sense of humor and it will be completely off the charts. I don't normally listen to punk, but if it's something on Mike Patton's label, we know it's going to be avant-garde, left field, weird, and well worth a listen. Fourth album, we're actually staying with the theme of legendary artists that have their own record label. In this case, it's Periphery, and their record label, 3 Dot Recordings, will be releasing album number 3 by the metalcore band Boundaries, and the album is called Death is Little More. Not listened to this band. Often I will overlook metalcore albums, but because this is coming out on Periphery's label, there probably will be some great technicality to this music, and we know that Periphery also do like bands, heavy bands that are tunesmiths as well. So it'll be interesting if they can be a bit more successful than Periphery 5, Gent is not a genre, and actually write a decent pop song. I know that sounds anathema to many of you, myself included. If you're a metal band, very few bands can actually move over into pop and pull it off. And I always use Faith No More and 12 Foot Ninja as 2 examples of bands that certainly know how to do that without compromising their sound or their reputation and losing fans. Staying with metalcore, one of the few great bands in the last few years, and we're still in the United States, Wrist Meet Razor, their album Degeneration. I really enjoyed 2021's Replica of a Strange Love. So this started out as a solo project of a musician called Jonah Thorne and has evolved into a band. They're a bit like Code Orange. They've got industrial influences as well. Quite chaotic, but there's a strong sense of songwriting as well. Really dark music, and the title alone, Degeneration, and the name of the band, Wrist Meet Razor, suggest that this is not going to be party music. It's going to have some of that mathcore chaos in it as well, hopefully, that was certainly present on the last record. Next one, we're moving over to grindcore and noise rock, and this is the Swedish band Child, correct? Child, Child, dreadful name for a heavy band. Great album title though, Scheitgeist, a play on that German word Zeitgeist, which means spirit of the times. So this is a Swedish band. It's released on the respected label Suicide Records, and it's a follow-up to 2023's Meditations in Filth debut album. It's grindcore, it's noise rock. Hopefully it'll be like that Scottish band Gengo Ikari. I can't even pronounce their name. What was that? Gendo Ikari, that's it. They do something similar. Go and check them out, the Scottish grindcore band Gendo Ikari. They're a fantastic extreme metal group. Moving on. No, we're not moving on. We're going to stay with grindcore. Experimental grindcore. And this is a band called Cave Moth. And it's an EP called In Memory Eternal. Again, an American band, self-released. When I think of experimental grindcore, I think of John Zorn's band Naked City. And that 1992 album, The Torture Garden, which is fucking avant-garde saxophone music with napalm death. And of course, Mike Patton was part of the band in the mid to late 90s as a live performer as well. So if it's anything like John Zorn's Naked City, it will be fucking amazing. Next, we're moving on to black and death metal, to an English band. Oh no, sorry, UK based. It doesn't specify whether it's England, Scotland, Wales, or Northern Ireland. So UK based, and they're called Terra Novum, and the album is called Valley of Pariahs. Again, self-released, and this is a debut record, and that's what caught my attention. Any band, British, they're definitely gonna get priority with the ADK Rock and Metal channel, and also with our sister organisation, Scream Bash Repeat. So debut record, great time to come in and discover a band. Black and death metal, both genres on their own are quite boring these days. Put them together, often I do enjoy them. So black and death metal, everyone thinks of Behemoth, don't they, when they hear that combination? So if it's anything like them, it will be interesting. Blackened surf rock, what the fuck is that? So the ninth choice is a Dallas, Texas band called Colga, and it's an EP called Black Tides. I'm going to repeat that. Blackened surf rock. And it's coming out via Otis Media Records. It's a debut release. This just sounds like something that Mike Patton's Ipecac Records should be releasing. Or I Voidhanger, or one of those experimental labels. Hey, I'm all up for experimentation. Surf rock, I just think of Dick Dale with that style. So putting some black metal over the top of that, it's going to be a novel idea. Definitely going to give that a listen, however strange it might be. And then the 10th album, we come to Fenris of Darkthrone, and it's his new band, Coffin Storm, with their debut album, Arcana Rising, and that's out via Peaceful Records. There's actually a Darkthrone record coming out over the next 3 months as well. So Fenris, the ultimate tastemaker, the ultimate gatekeeper, has been a busy boy. Of course, this is a man who hates the mainstream. He won't be giving interviews. If you're lucky, you might be able to get an email interview with him. But he does give his opinion on what is true metal and what is not true metal. So good to have him there as the barometer. Deserves to be taken seriously. Come on, it's fucking Fenris from Darkthrone, for God's sake. So yeah, Coffin Storm, been described as doom metal. Clearly it won't be your one-dimensional doom metal. So looking forward to that. I'm sure that there'll be many different shades. The last Darkthrone album had elements of doom metal, but they kept that Celtic Frost influence as well. So yeah, that should certainly be something to whet the appetite. Number 10, Coffin Storm, Arcana Rising.